Good evening and welcome on 10 Drama and Paramount Plus to Leichhardt Oval on Gadigal land for the first of 4 Sydney FC home matches to start this 2025-26 campaign. The Sky Blues looking to bounce back from an opening day defeat to Adelaide United as they take on an old foe from up the M1, the Central Coast Mariners. It's Sydney with the upper hand, 29 wins to 17 overall, 18 to 7 on home soil. And the pressure is already on the Sky Blues, and in particular their coach Ufuk Talay. Ahead of this one, he has resisted the urge to change following last week's loss to Adelaide. Alex Grant and Marcel Tisserand continue in the centre of defence. Young Socceroos Paul Okon-Exler and Rhys Yuli in midfield, with that attacking quartet of 100-game man Joe Lolly on the right, Al Hassan Toure on the left, either side of the Peruvian Piero Quispe and the Spaniard Victor Campuzano. Still no Matthias McAllister on the bench for Sydney FC. Well, Warren Moon has only just got his feet under the desk in Gosford, and he has kept faith with the side that stunned Newcastle in the derby last weekend. In particular, with the former Sydney man Andrew Redmayne between the posts. There's still no Trent Sainsbury. He's away off after that Achilles rupture at the end of last season. So midfielder Brad Tapp, partners Nathan Paul in the centre of defence. Alfie McCalmont and Harry Steele are in the engine room. And the 2024 Joe Marston medalist Ryan Edmondson leads the line in attack with Miguel De Pizio, match winner last weekend. Nick Duarte starts on the bench. And a little false start from the Tannoy. We are underway. The Mariners, they're known as the greatest little club on earth. Well, they proved it again last week with the most spectacular of scenarios against the Jets. They've been sitting top of the table all week coming into this round. Sydney FC will be hoping to cut them down to size. Daniel McBreen, the beauty of being just the second game of the season and already so much to talk about is that all hope is permitted for both sets of fans.
Well, exactly right, Robbie. Good evening, everyone. Never write the Mariners off, as we saw last week. Talay expecting a response from his team after a pretty below par performance last week against Adelaide. He'll be expecting a much improved performance in front of what is a really good crowd tonight. Great atmosphere. The Sydney fans have come out to support their team.
Lolly, little touch for Yuli and Campuzano. Lolly wins it back. Fouled surely. Bailey Brandman.
Battling from Joe Lolly. You can see he's not content to just go down and take the foul. He wants to keep the ball moving, he wants to keep the play active.
Lolly onto the left foot, looking to test his old teammate Andrew Redmayne. Can't do so.
Taken quickly short. He said he loves to cut inside on that left foot. This one's from a little further out, but why not? We've seen him crack them in from distance.
As Okon goes over the top, fantastic ball for Al Hassan Toure. His touch took him wide. It was just slightly misjudged by Brad Tapp.
It was just all too easy, wasn't it? Straight running behind. It's a wonderful ball, perfectly weighted, and the touch is a little heavy.
Joel King finds Quispe, gets it straight back from Rhys Yuli. Lovely one-touch football from Sydney. It falls again for Quispe. Now Toure, overlapping run. Toure hits it, side netting. The crowd in the grandstand all went up as one in front of us.
Well, for a brief moment, I was with them. I thought that had nestled into the net. Nice pace, moving the ball quickly, Sydney FC, and as it bounced back out, they were able to keep it moving. Not a bad strike.
McCalmont, good ball. Brandman for Moragas. They're getting some joy down this side. The ball in. Edmondson couldn't get there quickly enough. Joe Lolly Gets the better of McCalmont. Now looks for Al Hassan Toure. It's a fantastic ball over the top. Campuzano can't go with him. Toure draws another save. Now the follow-up Lolly on his left foot. Blocked by Nathan Paul. Sydney looking to draw first blood. Al Hassan Toure still crosses back post. Campuzano didn't look bad off the boot. Blocked by McCalmont.
Well, that's a great ball from Joe Lolly. We've seen 2 or 3 balls over the top that have caused problems for the Mariners. And at the back post, it was Alfie McCalmont filling in as a left back to block the shot. And that all started from Joe Lolly on the near touch line. That ball from Tisserand that went over the sideline. Fuktale's up and quick. He wants to have a go at him about the pass. He gets it in the face, which only made him angrier.
Justin in goes out of play. Campuzano for Lolly. A bit of special pass. Kispe. Oh, he's done well. Al Hassan Toure needs to find an option. The flag is up for offside. So it wasn't the challengers that were sliding in. It's Storm Roux who stayed down. We might head back down to Glenn Lauder, who's going to some observations about the defence. Be hoping Storm Roux's okay.
Yeah, first of all, hope Storm Roux's okay. He's back on his feet. He just copped a knock as the Sydney FC chasers were coming through the middle. You'll be able to see here as maybe the offside was potentially not in favour. That one maybe there is probably the offside there on Toure. But as Toure obviously
Campuzano, he got just 1 of 6 on target last weekend against Adelaide. That's his first sighter for the evening. Nathan Paul. It's not a bad ball, but Joel King just watchful.
That's always going to skid away, wasn't it?
Has decided that is a foul on Harrison Steele. Another who has had his injury problems over the last couple of years. He's approaching the 100 game mark, Harrison Steele, with the Central Coast Mariners. One of his 4 A-League goals came against Sydney FC. It was in the 4-1 defeat last season. It included a hat-trick off the bench by a certain Adrian Segicic. Now, was that touched enough? According to the referee, it was. Brantman, that's a good tackle to win it straight back for the Mariners. Perhaps they'll make a better fist of it this time. Brantman with the Bizio, deflected. Appeals for a handball from Edmondson. Not sure he was entirely convinced.
It was a training ground move that went wrong, and Brantman managed to resurrect the situation. See Tisserand there just moving the arms out of the way.
30 seconds left in the first half. Okon Exler turns again, finds Lolly. He and Al Hassan Toure have seen a lot of the football in this first half. Now Kispe. Joel King drives it in low and hard near post. Dealt with by Brad Tapp again. No way past. Kispe for Savignon. A couple of nice touches in there as well. Lolly again with King. And goal kick. Well, it's been a pretty intense first half of football from one end to the other.
We've seen that man, Joe Lolly, on the right-hand side. His counterpart, Toure, on the left-hand side, have been heavily involved right in the thick of the action. To show for it as we head into half-time. It's been slim pickings for the Mariners down the other end.
9 shots to 2 in favour of the home side. The Andrew Redmayne derby for the moment. Well, despite Sydney's dominance, Redmayne hasn't really been worked too hard, just that one good save to make. From Al-Hassan Toure, he's had plenty of options, plenty of opportunities for the home side, who have dominated and limited the Central Coast Mariners so far in front of a great crowd at Leichhardt Oval for their first home match of the season. We've had everything so far but the goals. And at the break, it is Sydney FC 0, Central Coast Mariners 0. The second half is underway in front of nearly a full house at Leichhardt Oval for Sydney FC's first home match of the season. The first of 4 consecutive games they will play here at Leichhardt Oval, including the Big Blue, just after the international break. Daniel McBreen, they have huffed and puffed, but so far they have not blown the yellow house down.
No, they haven't. I don't think Tele would be too upset, if I'm honest. I think they've looked like the most likely to score. They've got into some good situations. It's just been a heavy touch or a poor decision on a pass that's let them down. But they've got into the positions where you think they look likely to score. And they have, at times, opened up the Central Coast Mariners with just one pass.
Perhaps the Mariners looking to strike early in this second half. DePizio. Just ran into a wall of sky blue. Campuzano battling for everything. Surrounded by yellow shirts, though, the new Sydney number 9. Campuzano. He's brought this one in. Campuzano is still going, blocked. It might yet fall for Joel King on the left. Redmayne at his near post does the business. Corner for Sydney.
Well, it was going wide, but Redmayne couldn't take that opportunity, take the risk. Quick transition moment again from Sydney FC. That's where they've looked most dangerous.
Now that's the noise you can hear from the Cove. Kispe. With the corner, Yuli comes short, Kispe delivers. Alex Grant was looking to attack it. Joe Lolly will keep it in. Lolly whips a good ball back in. Grant's there again, just wide. The big central defender rising to meet it. It's going to be another corner.
It's another good ball. Joe Lolly, I think it's Nathan Paul, was it? That finally gets his body, gets the touch on it.
Touch that needed to be made. The pressure coming from Sydney, glancing header Campuzano, and then cleared. The Sky Blues come again. Ocon Engsler chips it back post. Grant, lovely ball. Oh, the Toure missed the open goal. I thought the opportunity had gone, and somehow Caputano pulled it back here out of his bag of tricks. And Sydney's pressure tells. 13 minutes into the second half. Bobo, watching from the crowd, enjoyed that.
Well, it was wonderfully constructed in the first instance. As the ball comes in on the Harvey Norman replay, there will be checks for offside. And it'll be here, but no, on the far side you see the Mariners defender who was trying to close down Ryan Grant. That's a beautiful ball. And Ryan Grant does the right thing, puts it across, and first Toure and then Capitano do their best to really muck up the opportunity, but a quick bit of thinking, and the back heel comes out, and he's off the mark.
The first goal in the A-League. That's a great ball from Kispe. Toure fires wide again. It's another opportunity gone begging. And will Sydney FC live to rue all these missed opportunities?
He's elected to go with Power again. That is a wonderful ball. Kispe there put it right into the path, and you think just have a touch. With the defender coming and Redmayne making himself big, he elects to go with Power and just can't quite wrap the foot around it.
Back to Devonish Mears, not the easiest one to control as DiPizio became the youngest ever grand final goal scorer against Melbourne Victory a couple of years ago, that famous night. As here's Joe Lolly. Lolly jinking, Lolly opening up on the left and deflected just wide. You get the feeling he really has a point to prove this season, Joe Lolly.
Ask the question, is when the defender's going to learn that he wants to come on that left foot? He just to find space so often.
Grant looks up, chips it, and it's very well defended. It was De Lima who came charging back, the fresh legs. That should be the Mariners' ball. It is.
Well, there were plenty of shouts for handball as that ball came across.
That's what's being checked. Then Abraham having a look. It was Tale immediately asking the question.
My first thought was it came off the hand. I'm not too sure on that replay now.
And it was De Lima who went chasing back. We'll have to see if there's another angle that's a little more conclusive than that. Not enough.
Up front, the Mariners, and a little bit more connectivity and cohesion.
Here goes Lolly again. That one runs away from Kispe. Just haven't been able to find him in those positions. Ocon Exler. He's one to make things happen. Nice touch, Lolly for Pat Wood. Hits it. Denied. Lolly the follow-up. Saved again by Redmayne. Well, he's been beaten once, Andrew Redmayne, but he's made a couple of good saves as well to keep his side in the contest. Face out. He came back to the Mariners from Perth. Faisal shoots near post. Well saved by Devonish Mears. It was McElmott that took over, and that is a first shot on target this evening. We had to wait till the 80th minute from the Mariners.
That was the underhit pass there, and Alfie McElmott just jumped in, Good cut back as well, and when he got it out his feet.
De Lima outside, ball in, bounces off Joel King. Gisby. Great ball, suffering crowd, the Peruvian, as he releases Joe Lolly. Pat Wood charging forward, Wood is there! And that's game, set and match, Sydney FC. Pat Wood, back amongst the goal scorers. It's been a while for him. Gisby with a big involvement, Joe Lolly as well with the assist. And on the stroke of 90 minutes, Sydney FC have their second goal to make the game safe.
Well, there's a textbook example of transitional football. As the ball drops to Gisby, he sees the run of Joe Lolly, who's been involved in everything. And on the Harvey Norman replay, he just has one look in, and look at the run from Pat Wood. He goes towards the 6-yard box and then he changes his angle and goes across. Joe Lolly sees that, puts it in front of him, and it's a neat finish from Pat Wood. Gisby, we saw earlier in the match, a wonderful ball in behind. Joe Lolly's been involved in almost everything tonight for Sydney FC.
Over the off-season, some big departures with the likes of Senna, Klimala, Segacic, Douglas Costa, of course. The arrivals of a few players as well, but it's the old heads that have made the difference so far as Joe Lolly looks to finish it, and he wasn't far away from his second in as many games. It's all over. Sydney are back in the winner's circle. It's a triumphant return to Leichhardt Oval, and they will be hoping this becomes a happy hunting ground for them for the remainder of 2025. Their campaign is up and running. They had to wait to make it happen. Victor Campuzano with the opening goal 12 minutes into the second half with a slice of fortune and a clever